What you're about to watch is a completely raw, basically unedited, and basically uncut version of a Lions fan reaction to this week's game for the Detroit Lions. So if you're a fan of this team and you want to join in on the misery and little bit of optimism that we have, go ahead and join this Detroit Lions community by subscribing right here and hitting that bell notification so you don't miss any of the Michigan sports action. Now, without further ado, here's that reaction that you came for. Enjoy! Alright, if you're looking for somebody to be mad about this game, I gotta be honest with you, I'm not that mad because the final score was 41-21 and I've had pretty much the entire fourth quarter to get over it. And, I mean, did I really think we were gonna win 3 in a row? No, I didn't. We beat the Jaguars, we beat the Falcons. Both of those teams have big time below average records. And so now we were playing the Colts, a team with a pulse that has now moved to 5-2. They were 4-2 before they played us. We played a good team, and we lost. We lost by much more than I thought we were going to lose by. I thought we were going to win. I did. I really did. So I know that kind of contradicts what I just said, but I'm not shocked. Let's put it that way. We were 3.5 point underdogs coming into this game. I did think we were going to cover, but again, like I said, I was not going to be shocked if we did not. Where I am shocked is that we ran the ball terribly today. 13 carries for 29 yards. That's god-awful. That is god-awful. And the fact that we only carried the ball 13 times in general is awful. Like, Matt Stafford's stats. I love Matt Stafford. I'm a Matt Stafford guy. His stats are so padded today, it's not even that funny. I was shocked to see his final stat line, that it was as good as it actually was at the end of the game. Let's look over them. He was 24 for 42 for 336 yards, 3 touchdowns and 1 interception. However, that 1 interception was a pick 6 at a very costly time. It gave the Colts at the time a 35-21 lead, I want to say. Either way, it was a pivotal moment in the game. He also lost the first fumble of the season for the Lions, so that was a good stat coming in, but it was a bad time to lose the fumble. So Matt Stafford, 2 costly turnovers. You know, 2 turnovers are kind of, you can overcome them, but the 2 turnovers he had were huge. They were killers, absolute killers. He had a much worse day than what his stat line will tell you. Not a terrible day, not an awful day, but bad enough of a day where I would say that his fantasy value was much better than what he actually was in real life. That's the difference between real life and fantasy. Because if you had Matt Stafford in fantasy, you had a pretty decent day. But if you had Matt Stafford in real life, you lost 41-21 to Philip Rivers. Father Time went 23 for 33 for 262 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. Most notably, we were unable to turn the ball over against Philip Rivers. They also did not run the ball well. They ran the ball 39 times as opposed to our 13 carries, so 3 times as much carries for 119 yards. 3.1 yards per carry. So they averaged 3.1 yards per carry. We averaged 2.2. Both teams did not run the ball well. Let's just say that. This game felt, in terms of statistical stuff, much closer than what it actually was, and there was a chance where we were going to creep back into the game and make it a game, but when Indianapolis answered our touchdown, when we made it 35-21, and they ended up, after the 2-point conversion, made it 42-21, that was ball game. We maybe could have come back, we could have made some drives and made it interesting, but when they answered that touchdown and made it 42-21, ball game, or 41-21, I'm sorry, they missed the extra point again, twice in the same game. When they made that happen, it was over. I talked about it all. We didn't run the ball well, they didn't run the ball well, but we really didn't run the ball well. And Matt Stafford had 2 costly turnovers. Those were our only 2 turnovers, and Philip Rivers did not have any turnovers. They as a team didn't have any. So that was it. 2 turnovers to 0, and our 2 turnovers were costly, very costly. Both teams were 7 for 14 on 3rd down, so that's good. Well, depends on what side of the ball you're looking at. Defensively, we couldn't stop them on 3rd down. They were 50%, 7 of 14, but offensively, we were the same, 7 for 14 and 50%. So, I mean, it is what it is. Couldn't stop them when we needed to. Nyheim Hines only had 3 catches, but they were costly. He went for 54 yards, but 2 of those 3 catches were touchdowns. This is interesting. Indianapolis as a whole, they had 11 receivers catch balls, but no receiver caught more than 3 passes. So Phillip Rivers doing what Phillip Rivers does best, and also doing what Matt Stafford does best, and distributing the football today. No receiver outshined any other receiver. T.Y. Hilton only had 2 grabs for 9 yards. For Detroit, 8 different players caught balls. Best receivers of the game were Marvin Hall and T.J. Hawkinson, but in different ways. Marvin Hall caught 4 passes for 113 yards. His long was 73 yards. So he's the deep threat guy. We know that. They said he was more than that, and he can be at times, but mostly he's a deep threat guy. T.J. Hawkinson, 7 catches for 65 yards, but didn't get into the end zone today. But he was the main target for Matt. He targeted him 10 times today. As a whole, though, we vastly missed Kenny Golladay. Vastly. Don't know how long he's injured. Please let me know in the comments below. I don't know when I'm going to actually get to see what his injury status looks like, so let me know if you know something. But yeah, only other things I want to mention is Indianapolis had 3 penalties for 19 yards. So 3 penalties, that's not a lot. 19 yards, that's also not a lot. We, however, only had 4 penalties. That's good, but they were for 76 yards, so they were killer. Big penalties. And one of the biggest discrepancies, because I'm actually looking for one, both teams didn't run the ball well, both teams passed the ball okay, both teams had the same exact 3rd down conversion percentage, so it's like, where's the discrepancy? Where does it actually lie? And I would say penalties, like I just said, and time of possession. Indianapolis had the ball 37 minutes and 46 seconds. Detroit had the ball 22 minutes and 14 seconds. So a big discrepancy there. You got to find the lining somewhere. There's got to be some kind of discrepancy when the score is 41-21. I'm going to attest it to that. Penalties, turnovers, time of possession. That's got to be it. Can't really think of anything else. That's all I really have to say. This one has been over for a long time. It's been over from pretty much the beginning of the 4th quarter. Wasn't much of a shot. At the end of our stream, we were talking about beer and nothing else. We weren't even talking about the game. It was over. It's been a bad weekend as a whole. If you're a Lions fan and a Michigan fan, it's been a bad weekend. But guess what? We live for another one, guys. So we will see you next week. Guess what? Next week, gonna be some funny videos coming out. Gonna be a preview video. Gonna be lots of different things. Keep your eye on Intermittent Sports, the channel that covers the Detroit Lions, Detroit Pistons, Detroit Tigers, and Michigan Wolverines. It's been a fun one. Have had a lot of support. Thank you guys for it. We appreciate it. We'll see you in the comments below. I try to answer to as many comments as possible. Until next time, guys, go Lions. 3-4. Real quick, let's talk about that. We're 3-4. I said we were going to be 4-4 halfway through the season. Right on target. We play the Vikings next week. They beat the Packers 28-22 today, so they look a little bit better. But I think we're going to go 4-4, and we're going to be right on target where I said we were going to be. Spoiler alert, I said we were going to be 8-8. So, 500. That's it. Go Lions. See y'all next time.